from animal sources sometime, and it can be efficient and give economic-wise product. Some of the most important cosmetic product is the hyaluron, which is come from hyaluronic acid. It's produced from this type of microorganism. It's used as gelling agent and as filler. We have, for example, the chitosan. It's also found in animal skin, in the skeleton of some animal, from insect, from seafoods, and also we produce it now in biotechnology products. So you can find here the most important cosmetic products in the market, which is produced in biotechnology products. This is xanthan. It's also used as emulsion stabilizer, water retention, and gelling agent. We have ectoines, we have ceramides. All of them come from animal source, but we produce it now in biotechnology sources. So biotechnology, time by time, it's taking more percentage of the raw materials in cosmetic, and it's the coming halal challenge for the halal auditors in cosmetics. We have some trend now in making skin more young, and there are many products produced by biotechnology methods. For example, you have urocanic acid, we have the provitamin, all of the provitamin which is used to improve the skin. It's produced now by biotechnology product. Okay, so what is the critical point in the biotechnology product? The main critical point is the growth media, the culture media, the processing aids that we use it, and the genetic modified organism. Actually, for the genetic modified organism, we didn't cover in this session, in this laboratory test. Inshallah, in the future, we will have more details about the GMO product and how we test it. There is one project in CIMIC DC1 about the biotechnology product. Inshallah, it will start in the near future, inshallah. So for the growth media, usually when you work in biotechnology, you need to make some cheap carbon source, some cheap protein source, and other essential materials and vitamins. From this material, we have many critical halal ingredients. For example, this is the most important 20 products that you need to put it in your culture media to make good environment to the bacteria to grow. From this 20 product, you can find the red one is the critical one. Some of them come from animal sources, which is maybe not halal, like albumin, biotin, cysteine, linoleic acid, stearic acid, vitamin B12, vitamin E. All of these, it's essential for them to be in the culture media, but they are coming from halal and non-halal sources. The processing aids, we add some anti-foaming, activated carbon, some other materials to make the culture media grow in well and keep a good physical texture for this culture media. And also it's come from non-halal sources, some of them. And the genetic modified organism, as I say, we should check the seed if it come from porcine or not. So as you know, in the biotechnology, we have the formulation research, then the fermentation. We make a big bioreactor, then we have a purification process, and we have the final product. So the main challenge, halal challenge in biotechnology product in cosmetics, that there is many questionable things. We need to take a special fatwa, and we need to know the opinion of the Islamic Fiqh Academy about it. For example, the bovine fetus serum, is it halal? Is it allowed with some condition? How about using blood or fish blood in the culture media? In some madhab, the blood is considered as najis, and to which extent we can use some fatwa there is to use some fish blood. Also, this one we need to know about the final opinion about it, and how to use about some human parts or secretions in the production. In CIMIC, in food, it's 100% not allowed, but in pharmaceutical, it's allowed uh, with some rules, with some conditions also. But in cosmetics, we don't have opinion until now. There is lack for Muslim halal statters houses around the world. To produce these cosmetics, you need the byproduct of the statter houses, and the majority of the statter houses produce by batch in non-Muslim countries, produced by batch. So this is make lack of the raw material which come from halal statter houses. There is problem with the definition of the raw materials in the biotechnology product. When you see that the time and the name and every line below, that term and condition is applied. So same happened with different culture material. I can show you now. You can find all of these terminology in the different culture media. There is some animal component free, bovine serum albumin, bovine spongiform encephalopathy. We have some protein free, serum free. There is a lot of free issues in this definition. But when they say to you, it's animal component free, that's term not mean it's animal 100% component free. It's may still contain recombinant proteins and some undefined components. This is the real definition when you go for the real definition, and when you go for ask for the definition of this material. When they say it's animal protein free, it's animal protein free, but it may still contain animal derived materials. When they say it's protein free, it may still contain some animal derived components and hydrolysed. All of these things make it critical for the people who look for halal auditing to check the growth material. One of the challenge is the BSE, the mad cow disease. It's make the market more sensitive to the animal material, and make a lot of regulation to make a good culture media. Until now, there is not a lot of halal alternative in the culture media industry, but there is some innovation now. It's start. We can speak about two components in the culture media, and we need to know about them because they are very important and they are very critical. The first one is the fetal bovine serum. Actually, it's used in all cell cultures. It's used in human vaccine, animal vaccine, in cosmetic industry to produce raw material. All of this cell culture uses. So, as you know, there is a lot of cows used for milk production. When this cow become very old, they send it to the slaughterhouses, and some of this cow, they have some, they are pregnant when they send to the slaughterhouses. So when they discover this pregnant cow, they take the fetus of the cow and they suck his blood and his serum. It's extracted into sterile blood bags. It's freeze under 5 degree. At 5 degree, they send it to another factory. It's freeze again after centrifusion for -20. It's go on again for another factory with different purification method, and at the end we have final fetal bovine serum. So this product come from cow, and it's come from the fetus of this cow. It's not blood 100%, and we need special fatwa about this issue and how to use it in the different biotechnology products. Another thing is the peptone. It's excellent natural source of amino acids, and it's come from different animal proteins. Majority of them is treated with enzyme. So we need also to look for suitable halal peptone. Fortunately, now we have more than 200 type of peptones, but the majority from the animal. We can find some of them from milk products. We can find some of them from microbial products. So we start to have some halal alternative products for peptone. To summarize this one, we have many critical points in halal cosmetic ingredients which come from biotechnology, and we need to check this one, and we need to make more research about the alternatives. To go to the regulation part of the analysis, actually my friend yesterday, they have a good method. They use it in Thailand, and this is the one that we are going to suggested to be as CIMIC standard, inshallah. We have two methods, one from United Arab Emirates. We still follow this process for the fatty acids, and the one from Thailand. But in general, for the halal cosmetic analysis, there is some basic analysis you need to make it. The basic analysis, it's different from one country to another country, but most of the people, most of the producers follow the European regulations. You can see here in this table the main European regulations about cosmetics. It's not standard, it's regulation now, so it's in higher rank than standard. It's give all definition and the safety issues and the analytical things and how to do the animal testing, especially with the animal testing in the last few years. They not allow any animal testing, and they ask each producer to test the material on different alternative method, not in the animal directly. So there is two type of the different type of the analysis we needed. We need some safety and human test, safety for human test. We need this one, and we need another test for quality. There is big difference between these two types. The safety one means that you need to change all of your formula, all of your products if there is problem in the safety one. While the quality control test, it's more flexible. You can just change the batch which has a problem. There is some official test produced by the European Union. You can see here the list of the official test for each chemical. It's regulated, and it's the one that we needed. But until now, there is no one for the origin of the material. And this is our role, to develop halal test method for cosmetics. As I say, in porcine detection group, we start on one method of the fatty acids. It's submitted by Thailand, and we are looking for another method submitted by United Arab Emirates. And there is one method for the ethanol detection in the cosmetics. There is many rules to adopt this method. Inshallah, it will be in the next project. And sorry for delay. Hopefully this is enough, inshallah, for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad Ali, for your nice talk. Unfortunately, we are very short of time and cannot go for the question session. I would request you to kindly place your email on the screen so that people can note, and if they want to ask something, they can contact through the email. Meanwhile, I can invite my other speaker to the session. Our next speaker for this session is Mr. Hamid Ahmad, who has been working as an international consultant in Halal. After his retirement from PCSIR Labs, Lahore, as head of the Meat and Livestock Department. He has specialization in post-production aspects of meat and livestock products, food regulatory affairs, halal slaughter of food animals, and animals welfare. He was officially nominated as PSQCA Pakistan expert member of the SEG under the OIC. He has exchanged his experience in many countries, including India, Thailand, Germany, France, Italy, Denmark, and so on. And he has been awarded with Endeavour Professional Excellence Award Pakistan by the Government of Australia. So please, I request Mr. Hamid Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Also, assalamu alaikum to those who are attending this seminar online. My best wishes for all of you. Most of you have been listening so far, scientific facts and analysis of food, halal meats, halal fats. So in this situation, my presentation is more about religious and scientific aspects halal as they mingle and as they support each other. I would like to detail it in a suitable manner. Although actually the halal is addict of our religion. It has not been scientific, but science has been following it to prove and find its truth and reality so that we can promote halal system. Just a glance of global consumer segment of halal you might have seen in some other presentations. But important among it is obviously, it's a 1.7 billion Muslims amongst the 7 billion population of world. It is stated that in next 30 years, our population will be equal to Christians in the world. It's also noteworthy that Muslim population is expanding at twice the rate of world average, which is 1.2 or 1.3, but we are expanding at 2.9. Another important point is that halal food trade in the world is about 14% of the global food trade, which is going to increase every year. And so it's a very significant amount of food in all respects, religiously, commercially, and scientifically. I happen to, as I said in the first slide, that it is a part of my project which I completed by visiting in many Muslim countries, reviewing scientific literature and discussing with various scholars, Muslim scholars. So I'm taking only that relevant part of this report, which perhaps will be relevant here, useful here. As you see, Islamic law considers all foods halal unless specifically prohibited in the Holy Book. This is a very undisputed things which I have tried to written. About 70% component of halal food trade or food business or food consumption is value is due to the meat, which is most expensive food. The prescribed method of halal slaughter is an important for Muslims and it is followed in all Muslim countries. These are hard facts. It's another important aspect of halal food that all foods barring meat or except meat are permissible unless proven to be unlawful. That somebody, you find it dirty or you find it touching some haram thing, or that can be, but otherwise it is permissible. But in case of meat and meat products, it is unlawful first until they are proven to be halal. This is a very noteworthy difference between all the foods and the meat. Now I come to three very important, undisputed and uncompromised facts which are accepted and followed in the Muslim world about making halal slaughter and taking the meat of that halal slaughter as halal meat. First thing is, all scholars, all views agree that animals should be alive and healthy at the time of slaughter. That's neck cut is the red line. Before that, animal should be alive and healthy. Please note these two words. Uttering the invocation is a second requirement, that the name of Allah must be invoked at the time of cutting off the neck by any sane Muslim. I've not written it, but obviously it is understood. Then the third point, which is mentioned in all aspects for slaughter under halal, is that maximum possible blood should flow or let out from the carcass at the time of slaughter. We all know that blood is something which carries all sort of germs, problems in any animal's body, human, animals. So it has been stated, and it is also, next time you will see in the next slide, that it is believed that our system of halal slaughter is considered to be the leader in this respect, that maximum blood flows out of the animal's body at the time of slaughter. Again, there are firm beliefs, some very firm beliefs traditionally, religiously, over the years, over the centuries, which are embedded in most, rather all Muslims of the world, about slaughter of animals and halal slaughter of animals especially. Muslim scholars, intellectuals, and even common men, as we are, believe that only halal method of slaughter leads to maximum bleed out to give safe and healthy meat. The maximum blood is thrown out of the carcass. The shelf life of the meat is very well scientifically known, that it is enhanced and it can stay better for preserved for longer time, kept in fridge or out of fridge, comparatively for a more time. And this concept is believed in comparison to non-Muslim method of slaughter. Whatever there could be a Sikh method of just cutting the jhatka, cutting the neck, or method using slaughter, stunning before slaughter, making the animal unconscious, grabbing it, holding it, whatever different things they use. So it is our firm belief that only halal slaughter of an animal leads to maximum bleed out to give us safe and healthy meat. The next belief is that halal slaughter causes no or less pain. This is also very important. When I happen to make my presentations in quite a few conferences abroad, and this point comes very often, that how do you say, why do you say? But this is our belief that halal slaughter animal is being slaughtered in the name of God, for the God, and so it causes either no pain or causes less pain as compared to the other systems. These Western countries or non-Muslim countries, you will see in the next slides, they use certain methods of stunning, pre-slaughter stunning before cutting the neck. So they try to make the pain less. But we believe, as a Muslim, that it is causing less or no pain. You see, these beliefs are held by every man, irrespective of scientific research, whatever done at the moment. Now, a little bit about slaughter of food animals, science and religion. The procedure followed by ritual halal slaughter of an animal is purely a part of our religious way of life, as prescribed in our holy book and explained by certain sayings of Prophet, peace be upon him, Muhammad. However, the aftermath of the sequence of science, physiological, neurological, and biochemical changes that accrue in the animal body when the muscle changes to meat at slaughter, and due to its death, of course, follow the rule of science, which we have been discussing, we have been learning, and we have been researching. The above two scenarios depict the interface of faithful and obedient religious observance, irrespective of consequences, occurring under the rules of current natural science, which is good or bad, whatever it is. We have no concern religiously in respect of halal slaughter. Looking at both the occurrences which are taking place, that is ritual slaughtering, halal slaughtering, and apparently is independent, they both are independent of each other and hold relationship with the post-slaughter and post-mortem effects and changes that are going to accrue in the animal carcass to become meat for our consumption, halal consumption. Halal slaughter and post-slaughter changes are occurring under two different themes. One is faith and the other is science. The former is purely based on strong, invisible religious belief said to be will of God, believed to be will of God, while the latter is physical, experimental, and scientific in nature. The science part is measurable, pain to animal, meat quality, while the ritual part is sacred act of belief, faith to be mired in the life hereafter. Here the confusions and controversies take place or take root between Muslims or not Muslims based upon one's priorities with respect to belief in science and religion, like animal welfare, pain to animals, machine slaughter, etc. These methods are used by other slaughter methods. Now I come to some aspects of animal welfare in Islam, a sort of code which is generally applied in our holy books, in our hadith, which needs to be followed, not being followed at all anyway. It starts with very gentle handling of the animal itself during its rearing, raising, at all stages. We need to take care of it, food, feed, and water, and drinking, and everything, as long as we are raising the animal, breeding it. At the time of slaughter, it has been stated repeatedly, it should be a very sharp knife to be used for neck cutting. It implies, and scientifically it matters, that a sharp knife comparatively causes less pain or no pain. Another important point is killing animal not in the sight of other animal. They are sentient species. We think they don't understand, they don't know, but it is now firmly believed through science that the seeing of animals in the front of killing it matters to them. And beating of animal is also prohibited at all times. Also, no unnecessary suffering to animals during production, rearing, and keeping it before slaughter and at slaughter. In practice, the religious code of animal welfare is totally ignored in almost most or all Muslim countries or societies. Reason which I have tried to dig out: lack of will, enforcement agencies not taking any action, or not rules and regulations to enforce it on the part of authorities, lack of skills and binding training courses. There's no course, there's no binding, there's no training that animals should be killed in a certain way, in a prescribed way, or there are certain courses or teachings or trainings. For example, in Shechita slaughter, it is Jewish slaughter, its name is Shechita. The slaughterer is very well-defined person with 2 to 3 years training course. He must have to pass it through, and then only he can become slaughterer. The knife size is described. What is the length of the knife? What is the sharpness of the knife? What should the weight of the knife? All these things are prescribed in their religious prescription, which is followed very strictly also. We don't have anything. Our prescription is that any sane Muslim adult can slaughter an animal. Ignorance is another factor which is causing animal welfare issues, cruelty, sufferings to animals, illiteracy, and because quite a few, rather most Muslim countries are underdeveloped, poor, affordability is difficult, carelessness, again related to illiteracy or training, raising of persons, how you raise your children, how you raise your family. And then there are overriding they say that we as a human cannot afford our food or we cannot solve our problems. Why should we care for animals? While it is described in certain Islamic sayings that ignoring of these injections which are prescribed above for the raising of animals, the care, the animal welfare, the look after, if you ignore them, sometimes make that meat makruh, means not likable for Muslim consumption. This is an important point. Mostly people don't understand it or don't know it. Now I'm going to give you some discussions with regard to animal welfare and issues of stunning, pre-slaughter stunning. I'm just going to give you one picture. There are a lot of videos which can be shown, but I think it's very simple to tell you. Here you can see this is stunning of animal is done before the neck cut to make the animal unconscious, immobilize the animal. Animal cannot offer any resistance. It becomes senseless. It is breathing, but otherwise it cannot resist your action. It started with first time with many methods. First was hitting with a hammer at his head, forehead, just to make it unconscious. Then there are many other methods adopted, which will come in the later slide. So you can see here the pre-slaughter stunning of food animals. Our OIC rules, which have been recently, I was part of these, and they mentioned that pre-slaughter stunning in halal slaughter is not a preferred method. They have not completely forbidden it because some Muslim countries are using it. Indonesia in some slaughterhouses, Malaysia also. Halal slaughter, prehistoric stunning, and religions and issues. Pre-slaughter stunning causes immobilization of animals. Different methods, as I said. Hammer was the first hammer hit. Then there was captive bolt pistol. It was a pistol hanging from the roof, about 20 kg weight. It had a rod, 3 inches rod comes out of it. You put it on the forehead of the animal, it goes inside 3 inches, comes back. Animal becomes unconscious, falls on the ground, flaps open, senseless, no. As the mad cow disease came about 10 years ago, I think, it was stopped, banned, because the brain material goes into the tissue, into the muscle, and that meat becomes inedible. Research was made. So captive bolt pistol, which was causing actual damage, injury inside the brain, was stopped. Then came electrical stunning. It has 2 electrical rods. They touched near the ears of the animal, large animal, small animal also. They give the current for 3 to 5 seconds and it becomes unconscious, falls down, and they slaughter it or kill it with a knife. Then is the gas stunning. Carbon dioxide gas anesthesia is also common, but it is mainly used for pigs these days, not for other animals. It's a gas chamber. The animal has to pass through in a 5-10 seconds and it becomes unconscious and slaughtered. The latest and mostly used method these days is pneumatic pressure stunnings. It's a gun. This is the same thing. It has a round head. The pressure is applied, and it just strikes with pressure at the forehead of the animal, and it doesn't injure. It doesn't goes into your body. It doesn't make any hole or any injury where blood can come out, and the animal falls down, and you can, within few minutes, you have to do slaughtering. Sorry. Halal slaughter of animals to produce meat for Muslim consumption is a religious act. Science is secondary in it. Science can enter only if and where it does not interfere with three basic religious essentials, which I described earlier: invocation, live and healthy, and maximum bleed out. Stunning is said to be performed to induce insensibility in animals for ease of pain, shackling, neck cutting, hoisting, raising on the West claims that the slaughter can be carried out without causing any avoidable pain, sufferings, or distress to animals when we use stunning. It also gives ease of animal slaughtering, animal handling. Their animals are very healthy. Sometimes I have seen Australian cattle, very huge animal, difficult to catch, even by 10 people. And to avoid, this is a very important aspect in stunning for most of the developed countries or non-Muslim countries, which I have seen, to avoid harm to workers and their safety. Because when the animal is struggling, if you are not stunning it, it can kick you and harm you. And that is very costly treatment for workers under insurance programs. And so it's a quite important aspect in both ways to save the humans and cost factor. But stunning injures the animal. That is very important. In our essentials, so animal is not healthy at the time anymore. I have discussed it with many scholars. Almost all of them say this is animal becomes unhealthy. It is not live. It is not healthy at the time of slaughter. And also, scientifically, I have reviewed the literature that stunning also causes some deaths. If you're doing it a chain, like lots of slaughters, for example, 800 cattle a day or 10,000 sheep a day, something like that. There are various figures. It can be from 3% to 5% deaths, which unnoticed deaths, which you don't know due to stunning, which can occur. But as the chain is going on, workers and nobody bothers. In our religion, in our scholars, they state that if you are slaughtering 10,000 animals a day and one of them is killed and you don't know, from fatwa point of view, that whole kill, 10,000, is cannot be considered halal because we cannot identify it. In some cases, many kill animals, so in that case, animal is not live. Also, that if it dies during slaughter, it is not live. So, our condition of live and healthy animal is compromised in this respect. Some religious scholars even believe that it amounts to 2 deaths. Pain at slaughter. This is a very important aspect which Western scientists, mostly they discuss it with me, that and they have very big complaint that you are causing sufferings and pain to animals, whereas you can avoid it. International Association of Pain defines pain as unpleasant sensory and emotional experience normally associated with tissue damage, or described as damage. So scientifically speaking, pain has to occur in live animals on any incision or cut, halal and non-halal. Research in New Zealand has indicated that this incision causes pain signals, reported that animals stunned 5 seconds after incision. This is very important thing, that some experiments have been made that halal slaughter should be done with knife, cut and throat with knife by uttering the invocation. But after the neck is cut, if you can use same, thereafter, the pain signals disappear instantly. This is very important scientific discovery. So this may hold potential in halal slaughter, if at all some people want to consider it. Study claims that stunning in the immediate post-slaughter time would limit the period of halal neck cut pain to a few seconds. Importantly, it does not seem to affect the 3 halal slaughter essential requirements. However, its application requires special training, state-of-the-art halal restraint system, which we are not using mostly in our Muslim countries, and approval from religious scholars. Science in animal welfare, halal slaughter method describes no pre-slaughter ritual or restraint system in our religious book or hadith. So this is a very open area for us. Thus, this space has an option and opportunities for improving animal welfare. However, to restrain the animal before slaughter, because now people, 5, 6 people hold the animals, the animal is struggling. It's very cruel to see that scene. A Muslim so it's a restraint system is available, rotating system which can be applied to in the halal system. It has been developed. We Muslim countries can use it for the sake of animal welfare. So I'm just trying to, I have been asked to shorten it so you can see it, read it. It's mostly the animal welfare aspects which can be improved in our system by different methods we can use. There is no actually any special need to take care of animals if we only follow those prescribed rules in Islam. They can be taken care. Sorry, this is just a few photo that I'm discussing at Al-Azhar University with farmers of Lahore, Pakistan. This is just an animal market in the Pakistan. This is cruel animal transport, which we apply. We have no rules of transporting animals. It causes problem. Again, this animal has fallen due to transport, and they're going to slaughter it as it is breathing. Also, you can see some scenes of love to animals in our markets on slaughter sacrificial Eid occasion. This is also sacrificial Eid slaughter animals. So I have just shortened it just to brief it that internationally and Western countries have very big concern about animal welfare in the Islamic halal slaughter method. They have written on it, they are lobbying it, their animal welfare associations are making noise on it. Australian lobbies have stated that we cannot export live animals. We should not export live animals to Muslim countries because they make cruelties, sufferings to our animals. They don't want their animals to be sent to Middle East countries. They are exporting, and it is one of their very big export to 13 Muslim countries in the Middle East. Rich countries, they have to import animals. So to mitigate this concern to as much extent as possible, Muslim countries, Muslim societies, we as a Muslim can apply our Islamic Halal code for caring the animals in the production time, in the rearing time, and at a slaughter. And also we can use some possible machines where fatwas can be given, or Islamic scholars can agree. We should take this aspect very seriously because in the future, I'm sure we are going to face accreditation and inspection rules about animal welfare aspects as well. At the moment, for example, McDonald's meat was stopped because they were using chicken for caged birds. So now they want that birds should not be caged and there should be free range rearing. So such things are going to come in the way of in future. So my request is that we should consider animal welfare rules also while making rules of halal food and halal system. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for covering this very important topic. In fact, we have more talks on this topic tomorrow. Now, I would like to announce two announcements. We have a lunch break now, and the next session will start at 2:30 p.m. Right in this auditorium. And the second announcement is for the online participants, people who are participating through Zoom. They can mark their attendance by sending their names in the chat box. This will facilitate for getting their certificates. Thank you so much.